You clock in, do the work, pay the bills, and clock out. Life has become a repetitive loop of survival mode. But beneath that routine, there is a constant friction. You carry a deep conviction that God designed you for a specific purpose, yet your current reality is nowhere near it. To quiet that friction, you tell yourself a logical-sounding story. You promise God that you will step into that calling as soon as you have more money, more time, or finally feel perfectly qualified. That feeling of preparation is a trap. It is a comfortable habit that quietly dismantles the specific future God intended for you. Millions of believers are mistaking self-sabotage for practical caution. You might be falling for one of 5 specific traps, losing ground on your calling every single day without even realizing it. The first sign is waiting for perfect conditions. You put off starting that ministry, taking that leadership role, or having that difficult conversation because you are convinced you need a better resume first. Look at Gideon in Judges chapter 6. When the angel of the Lord found him, he was terrified, hiding in a winepress to thresh wheat in secret. He immediately gave God a list of excuses, pointing out that his clan was the absolute weakest in the region. God ignored the excuses. He looked at a man hiding in terror and called him a mighty warrior. He did not wait for Gideon to feel brave before handing him the assignment. Procrastination easily disguises itself as waiting on God's timing, but if you wait for perfect conditions to obey, you will wait forever. The truth is that God is actually waiting on you. The second sign is that the fear of man is paralyzing your purpose. You constantly worry about what people will think if you fail, and that anxiety dictates your decisions. 2 Timothy 1:7 provides the direct countermeasure to this paralysis. It states plainly that God has given us a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind, never a spirit of fear. That internal voice whispering that you aren't good enough is not your inheritance. It is a lying spirit, and it has zero real authority over your life. Courage is the deliberate choice to step out in obedience, even while your knees are shaking. The third trap is the most dangerous because it sounds responsible. It is the practice of partial obedience, modifying or delaying God's clear instructions because a different path seems more logical. King Saul lost his entire kingdom to this habit. God commanded him to completely destroy the Amalekites, but Saul kept the best livestock, claiming he would sacrifice them to the Lord. He tried to wrap his direct disobedience in spiritual language. Samuel's rebuke was clear. Sacrifice can never compensate for a lack of obedience. Every time you rationalize instructions, you follow Saul's pattern. Partial obedience is total disobedience. It drops the equation to 0 and limits the responsibility God can entrust to you. Taking a day off is biblical, but the fourth sign is something different. Wasting hours on mindless digital scrolling and binge watching. This is the active avoidance of the assignment God handed you. Proverbs 18:9 warns that a person slothful in their work is brother to a great waster. Proverbs 24 connects a seemingly harmless folding of the hands to rest with the sudden thief-like arrival of poverty. Laziness is an active thief. It steals your remaining time, your divine opportunities, your specific gifts, and your spiritual authority. The final sign is the refusal to start small. You want the massive platform or the dramatic Red Sea parting, so you ignore the unglamorous work sitting right in front of you. Nehemiah's calling to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem began in secret. He didn't start with a grand announcement. He started with a small, unannounced nighttime inspection of the rubble. When the path looks impossibly steep, the enemy is weaponizing the scale of your calling to keep you idle. By forcing you to stare at the top of the staircase, he ensures you never take a single step. Faithfulness in the small things is what builds the foundation for larger influence. You do not need to see the entire plan. You only need to take the first step. God designed your life for the fullness of his purpose, far beyond the routine of the survival loop. If you recognize yourself in these signs, reject the feeling of guilt. Guilt is just another tool used to keep you frozen in the same trap. Moving from an internal thought to a new reality requires a physical action. Identify which sign you are breaking agreement with in the comments. This act of public commitment is where your faith begins to move into work. Your efforts are built on the foundation of Christ's finished work. Your calling is waiting. Now go walk in it.
'Cause we walk by faith and not by sight into the